quickest really fast.
Oh, well, I'm a defensive player, so...
How's it going, you spicy young individuals? Welcome to Inside IUE Sports here on the Red Wolf Sports Network. I'm your host, Travis Lang, and today we're continuing on with our series of Athletes Who Care. Today on the show, I have Rachel Burgess, the junior here at IU East. Rachel, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Fairfield, Ohio. It's about 40 minutes outside of Cincinnati. So it's a bigger city, so it was kind of weird coming to Richmond because, you know, there's not much here, but yeah.
And in your time in high school, what were you involved with?
So I played soccer all 4 years, and then my last 2 years of high school actually went over to Butler Tech. So it's like a little vocational school. It just gives you a head start on your degree if you have an idea of what you might want to do. So I went for exercise science, which is kind of like a pre-sports medicine outlook. And it was great with like figuring out what I was actually going to go to school for, so I didn't have to spend time in college figuring that out.
And so now that you're in college, do you have a major that you're planning on?
Yeah, I'm currently studying human life sciences, which is kind of the same route as pre-med. So.
And with that route too, are you still planning on, at least in your career, is there any specific occupation you want?
Yeah, I'm going to school to be an orthopedic doctor, so the plan after undergrad is medical school.
So now that you're planning on medical school, let's turn the clock back a little bit to summer, where you were halfway across the nation in the nation's capital. Why were you there?
So I got the opportunity to go to Washington. I'm sure that you've heard of the organization Red Cross. I went mainly for blood donor purposes. I basically learned how to set up a blood drive. So I got to meet a lot of people in the organization who are higher up. I got to meet a lot of people who dealt with the nonprofit side of it, the biomedical side of it, and then people who have been impacted by it. So they taught us how to set things up and then bring the mission back to campus. So.
What goes into setting up a blood drive? I mean, I've never personally set up a blood drive,
Sure.
But like, what goes into it?
A lot of it is delegating out the roles. So finding people best fit for each spot. Marketing is a huge thing for it. So I need to find ways to get people to sign up to give blood. And then, you know, the day of the drive, setting everything up, breaking everything down, making sure that there are people to check people in, making sure that no one's passing out after they give blood, all of that. So.
And are there any big challenges when it comes to setting up a blood drive on a college campus?
I would say the fear of needles is pretty common, especially for people our age, especially if they haven't ever donated blood before and they don't see the significance behind donating. So that's going to be the biggest challenge, is bringing to life like what I got to experience in Washington. I need to give that experience to everyone here somehow and make them want to do it as much as I do.
Let's talk about that significance of giving blood. Why is it so important to give blood in the community?
So every 3 seconds, someone needs a blood transfusion. Without a blood transfusion, if they need one, they could die. So it's a situation that people didn't ask to be in, you know, surgeries, which happens every day, every second, whether it's planned or it's emergency. You know, giving a baby, sometimes you need a blood transfusion, a car accident, people who are sick, like with cancer or certain diseases such as sickle cell, they need constant blood transfusions. So the dependency falls on the people who are donating. So that's the significance behind it. And the statistics is what really drives me.
And you're also on the women's soccer team. You play, if you're talking about right back,
Yes.
In terms of soccer, you're basically on that defensive line. But it's been a long journey getting to that point. You struggled with an injury, correct?
Yeah, so starting in high school, I had my first surgery, and it was just kind of one after the other. My final surgery was my freshman year here. It totaled to about like 5 surgeries. So really just the mentality of I'm going to play. I kind of struggled with that, and then building everything up physically, you know, learning how to walk again, learning how to run, and then getting everything back from stamina to my touches on the ball to the confidence in playing. So.
What was the worst part about that, basically repair and recovery process?
I think being sent back to square one every time was definitely devastating, and it was really tough to want to be able to bounce back. But when you're surrounded by people who are constantly uplifting you and have the same vision as you for yourself, they won't let you fall back. So.
I mean, you've been having great play so far this season at IU East. You guys are undefeated at home so far. But do you feel any effects of the injury? Do you still feel pain?
I don't. I go into every game just with the mindset that I'm fine. I don't pay attention to it. I really don't hurt at all. But a lot of that comes from just things that are behind the scenes that not everyone sees, you know, not just in practices necessarily, but how am I strengthening myself, like, to be ready to play.
Do you have any tips for players that have been injured, whether they're in high school or college, in terms of recovery? Like, what can you give in terms of comfort to these players?
I would say celebrate the small victories, just because it can be so taxing to your body and on the mind, but it's hard to remember like where you started and where you're coming from. So even if it seems like you're not going very far, making any progress, you know, there is an end goal, but at the same time you're coming from somewhere. So that, and just keeping like the main vision in mind, you know, what do you want to do? And then surround yourself with people who are going to be bought into it as well.
And finally, any other comments or other tips as we go into this soccer season, getting ready for conference play? Are you excited for that?
We're so excited. We get to start out with Carlo and Point Park, and those are two teams that we like to play. But no, I can't close out the interview without just giving the glory back to God, giving me the grace and the strength to get through the things that I've walked through. Same with my parents and the coaches and the players. They poured a lot of confidence and faith back into me when I didn't have it in myself. So I'm really grateful to be here.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Rachel Burgess, the junior here at IU East on the women's soccer team, playing right back. Also be on the lookout for some blood drives coming to IU East in the very near future. With that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll have some more interviews with some players coming right up.
What can I do for you today?
My throat's been hurting all day and I have class in an hour.
Okay, let's get you feeling better.
Receive quality care without the wait. Read Health Now, right beside you.
Hi, how can I help you?
My daughter has a fever and she isn't feeling well.
Okay, let's get her feeling better.
Receive quality care within the comfort of your own home. Read Health Now, right beside you.
IU East has a beautiful campus. We're in Richmond. We're located on the northern side of town on about 180 beautiful acres. We have 5 buildings. The first one was Whitewater Hall. That was built in 1974. And most recently, we've added our 5th building, which is the Student Events and Activity Center, and that opened in 2016.
I think one of the things that often folks don't realize, we have 3,700 students here. Our campus is really split in a way. We have about half of those students are traditional age students who are coming right out of high school, and they're doing all those typical things that college-age students do. And then we have this other aspect of our campus that's online, and that serves about half of our students as well. And so we're able to serve both of these groups in a really great way.
We are an Indiana University campus right here in Richmond, so students can get an IU degree in their region.
An IU East degree holds just as much weight as a degree from IU Bloomington does, except you're getting a degree at a fraction of the cost as you would at a different campus. So I'm able to graduate debt-free in May, and that's something that a lot of students aren't able to say.
We have a small enough campus that students will really get to know their faculty, and their faculty will get to know them, yet it's large enough so that we have a full campus life and students get the full college experience.
This campus can be everything that you want it to be. You just want to come and go to class, you can do that. But if you want to be somebody who is out in front and leading and noticed, you're going to get that chance. And that doesn't happen everywhere.
I have had the pleasure of taking care of probably 35,000 cataract patients. It really is meaningful to people. It changes their lives. It gives them back things that they hold dear. It seems like you can't do anything without proper banking help. I've had a very good experience working with First Bank. You have people that you know and you grow a relationship with. I just have the confidence that the banking part of it will be okay.
Well, Welcome back. We're still on the episode of Athletes Who Care, a show where we like to showcase what our athletes are doing in the community here at IU East. Right now with me, I have Johnny Fikes, the sophomore this year. Johnny, first of all, where are you from?
I'm from Bradford, Ohio. It's a real small community, about 45 minutes away from here.
So I know you're in cross country. Mm-hmm. You're also in track. You do the 3K indoors and also the 3K steeple race. But how did you get started in running?
So I played football up until my 6th grade year, and I kind of got tired of it. So I was like, my parents were like, why don't you try something new? So I knew our school had cross country, so I was like, I'm just going to try cross country, and I ended up being pretty good at it. So I just kind of stuck with it.
And obviously you've stuck with it all the way through college. Mm-hmm. How did IU East find you out?
That's actually kind of a funny story. I was actually going to go to another school up in Cleveland, Ohio, and about halfway through that summer, before my freshman year, I got a call, and they basically just canceled all their programs, canceled the entire running program. So I was scrambling for a school, and one of my friends who graduated with me was coming here for track, so I got a hold of her, and she gave me Coach Gus's number, and then Coach Gus gave me Coach Adams' number, and then we talked, and I took a visit, loved it, and yeah.
So you're involved in the 3K, as we talked about, and
Yep.
a 3K steeple race.
Yep.
Just explain a little bit how those races work.
Yeah, so the indoor 3K is 12 laps, so it's kind of a long race. It's almost 2 miles. 3,200 meters is 2 miles, so it's just under. For outdoor, the steeplechase, you jump over giant hurdles, basically, and they don't move, so if you hit them, it does hurt, which luckily, knock on some wood, I haven't hit one yet, but according to Coach Adam, I will, and I'm not looking forward to it. But yeah, there's 5 hurdles set around the track, one including being the water pit, which right there, that was kind of cool. You put your foot up on it and you just kind of propel yourself off and jump into the water and then just keep running.
Do you have any goals or aspirations as you move forward in your career with running?
Yeah, I would. This year, I'm gonna go for the steeplechase record, which is actually held by one of my teammates, Shannon. That's my goal for outdoor. For indoor, just keep lowering my time in the 3K. Just try to get as best as I can.
Well, those are some great goals, but also I've heard you're shattering some records when it comes to the cadet program here at IU East. Tell me, how did you get involved being as young as you are and being one of the first, in fact, on campus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I applied last year as a freshman just to try to get my foot in the door and just to, even if they did call me for an interview, just to get a feel for the interview. But luckily, they called me and was like, yeah, we'd love to have you for an interview. I went into my interview and I knocked it out of the park, and I waited about 3 weeks, and then they gave me a call and was like, we'd like to offer you the position. And I was blown away because I didn't think I was going to get it because I was so young. But according to Sergeant Smoker, I knocked it out of the park.
And not only is that interview process a little bit scary, but I'm sure the training is a little bit interesting as well.
Yeah, so it's actually not too bad being an athlete, but like if you weren't an athlete, it would probably be a little bit scary. But we actually went to Bloomington for a week right before school started. They call it Cadet Week. And we basically did the fitness test that you would do to enter the academy. And it's push-ups, sit-ups, vertical jump, a 300-meter run, and a 1.5-mile run. So it's not too difficult, but it does require some training.
And with that training, too, have you had any funny stories that have come up from that?
Like for the cadet program?
Yeah.
Not really, because I'm just starting to get involved in everything, but like Cadet Week was a ton of fun, met a lot of people, and there are some funny stories from Cadet Week. Like we were sitting around playing euchre and just laughing, having a good time.
So from that now, you're finally getting ready to move on, but you mentioned some of the other athletes that have been a part of it too. What's it like to carry on the tradition of athletes joining the cadet program?
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool because when we were doing like roll call the first day, Major Luce got to IU East, and me and Dylan raised our hands, and he's like, "Which one of you guys run track?" And I raised my hand again. He's like, "Yeah, your chief likes to pick the track guys." So it is really cool knowing like the past like 4 cadets have been a part of the track program, and just keeping carrying that on, it's really cool.
Are there any tips or advice for athletes or just people in general trying to join the cadet program?
Even if you're just interested in police at all, I would suggest doing it. Like if you're just curious about what it's like being a police officer, I would join, because like literally you ride along with the officers and like they teach you, and yeah. If you have any interest at all, I highly suggest applying.
So hopefully when you turn 21, you can finally join the actual program.
Yeah.
You said it's in Bloomington,
Yep.
correct? But after that, what are you looking forward to in terms of career as well as major?
Yeah, so I'm a criminal justice major right now with a minor in political science. So after after I go through the academy, I'll come back. It'll be my senior year. That first semester, I should have some classes that I need to take to finish up my degree, and then if everything works out right, I could technically graduate in December, but I won't, because I want to run track my senior year. So then I'll just take some just really easy elective classes my last semester of college.
Well, good luck with the classes. Before we end off here, are there any other questions or comments you'd like to leave the audience with?
Not really, but I mean, if you have any goals, go for them. I mean, just like this, like I just thought I could get my foot in the door, and it just turned out that I would be able to get in. So,
well, good luck with the rest of your career, and hopefully you can keep running down those crazy criminals here at IU East, and the squirrels too, and the deer.
Yeah,
there's a lot of wildlife here.
Yeah.
This has been Johnny Fike here on Athletes Who Care. We have another interview coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Rick Duncan, and I can't paint.
Hi, I'm Hoover, and I can't sports.
I'm Scott Epic, and I can't cook.
You know what we are great at, besides our music, of course, supporting the community.
That's right, Rick. Whether it's collecting coats, food, or just showing support, we're all in for our community.
And we're proud to call Richmond home. G1013 is a proud supporter of IU East and the Whitewater Valley.
What if a home phone could also be a smartphone? And what if that home phone could save you money on your home and wireless bill at the same time? With Xfinity Voice, you get amazing technology like readable voicemail on your smartphone, caller ID on your TV, and even text messaging, all for a low price. Start saving with unlimited nationwide talk and text, and switch to Xfinity Voice for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Almost done.
Now you can pay your bill, manage your appointments, and check your connection status. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, so you're protesting? Okay.
Introducing Xfinity My Account, available on any device.
We have one more interview coming up here on the episode of Athletes Who Care. It's a show where we like to showcase some of the athletes in our IU East community and what they're doing for others as citizens. And so I'm right here with Julian Short and Jaylen McKay. How are you guys doing today?
Doing all right.
Pretty good. Thanks for having us.
So Julian, let's start with you. Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
And how'd you get started with basketball?
I've been playing basketball for a while, since I was in elementary school, actually, and just been, just real involved in it for a long time, actually. Went to junior college in North Dakota, transferred from there, went to St. Francis, transferred from there to Governor State, and came here. So finally found a home, basically. So.
And what about you, Jaylen?
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I just like him, I've been playing basketball since I was very young. I also ran track and cross country, but ended up sticking to basketball. Just feel like I was a bit better at that.
And you guys are coming off a win, too, in the alumni game, which was just yesterday. How was it like to play against some former players?
It's always fun, get to, at the same time we're, trying to win and compete, but at the same time, we're just relaxing, trying to have fun, getting our things done, getting our sets out, getting our sets right, and playing our defense and just trying to see different things out there on that court. But it was a fun game, actually. Pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. With it being like a family with the teams that have come and have already moved on, it's kind of good to get to see them every year and catch up, and it's kind of like old times with some of the guys you played with, being able to play against them again, so it's always a good time.
And not only is it a good time, but it's also a great preview and a showcase for the community. How are you guys looking forward to the season?
For this will be my last year. A lot of work has been put in, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a bit different, especially not having so many returners like we normally have. But I think good teams learn to adjust to that, and I think we're going to do pretty good this year.
I agree. We had a strong summer. We had a great summer, and we've been working hard since school has started. So I think we'll have a great season as long as everyone buys in. Like we've been taught, we'll come out and have a great one.
Yeah.
Are there any challenges you foresee coming up in the River States Conference?
I know IU Kokomo, they were a pretty strong team last year.
Yeah.
I know a couple of their guys are returning, so they'll be good. But I feel like as long as we do what we can do and we do what we know we can do, we'll be fine. We'll make a good run for it.
Yeah, we try to just keep the focus on us, and at the same time, not really worry about the other teams, but understand, a lot of teams are coming after us.
Right.
But we try to just keep that mindset and understand that as long as we do what we have to do, then we'll be able to win in the end. So.
Yep.
And with that spirit, with that winning spirit, you guys have taken that off the court onto a different sort of court.
Yeah.
And when it comes to trying to organize stuff in the community, you guys recently hosted a 5-on-5 basketball tournament, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And first of all, what day was that on?
That was, what was that?
September 14th?
Yeah, 14th. Yep, 14th.
How did that idea come about?
Well, we actually it was the 21st. Just thought about it, the 21st. But we thought about it over the summer. We've been trying to get it together for a while. We just needed to get the right resources and the right people involved. Yep. Especially during the summer. It's not too much going on in Richmond. There are some events, but we wanted to get something going on as far as, getting a lot of the children involved and the community involved. And us being basketball players, obviously, we thought that would be a good route to take. And we took the necessary route, talked to the mayor, the Park District, different people out here that helped out as well. And we just got it going. It was a short period of time, but I think we learned a lot from this experience, especially this being my first time and his first time doing this. I think it was a good outcome,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think basketball was just a natural choice just because we play basketball. And with keeping everything in the community, we know a lot of people in the community. Yeah. So with it being at like the park and everything like that, it just kept that fun, natural feeling to it. Wasn't anything too professional, just something that everyone could come out, have fun, enjoy it. So basketball was just an easy choice and fun for everyone to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you speak about the fun of it and having that entire community come in. What's it like for the community to have a basketball tournament like this?
I think it's a good advantage. Especially for this community, I think any community, basketball is something that is really popular, especially as a sport. Obviously, you have a lot of basketball fans, football, etc. But basketball is so accessible, it's so easy to get to, And I think having that just brought a lot of the community and a lot of the guys who play normally just wanted to compete. And I think that was something that we didn't expect off the bat. We thought they would probably have a lot of, kids or something, high schoolers maybe, but we actually got a lot of older guys and a lot of younger guys too that were ready to compete and play ball. So, for a good cause too. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. At the same time, the community supports us tremendously with our season. A lot of the guys that just live in Richmond just met us because we go to college. They come to our games. We build relationships with them. So for us to kind of flip roles and give them a stage and they show up and show out, it was kind of perfect in a way.
And so with that money you've raised from this tournament, where's it going?
We're donated to the Boys and Girls Club of Richmond. So with the fees that we charge the players and the shirt fees and stuff like that, everything that we kind of collected and is left over is going right into the Boys and Girls Club of Richmond.
And what's the Boys and Girls Club in Richmond? What's the benefit to the community, or what's their benefit to the community?
Well, I know that we partake in a lot of different things as far as the basketball team. I know during the wintertime we go out there and we help out as far as the kids. They go out and help them pick gifts and things like that for Christmas. And I think that right there is one big thing that helps them, and they enjoy it. The smiles on their faces and things like that. So basically them helping the kids out here in the community who don't have much or who just have very little things as far as, it could be clothes or toys or whatever the case may be. But being able to donate to that type of environment is good for them.
I agree.
And finally, what was the turnout like? Are you expecting this to be a program that continues beyond this year?
Yeah. I think when we did it, we were pretty nervous as far as the first day we had to reschedule because it was raining. And so we thought the second time, it was okay, they're not going to show up. But we wanted the guys to get out there around, between 12 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock. And it was like 12:10 and we didn't see anybody. And all of a sudden they just all started coming in probably at one time. But it was a great turnout. We had the 6 teams that were there, pretty competitive. The second from the last game ended in a buzzer beater. And then the team who won, I think they pretty much win a lot of different tournaments around the area. But it was very competitive. People came out, kids came out. We actually had a big sign and had everyone sign it and different things like that. So it was a great turnout. People loved it. We got a lot of different feedback over the social media aspect, and they think if we did it again, it'd just get bigger and bigger as years go on. So it was great experience.
Yeah, I know after, like when we were cleaning up and stuff, the players and kind of the fans were coming up to us like, when's the next one? And we're kind of like, we haven't even begun to think about that, but just us not even leaving the court yet, to see that they were excited about that and to think about stuff we can improve in the future, it was a great feeling. Just recognizing how the community came together and actually came out, and the tremendous support we had from social media, from even IU East, a lot of IU East faculty and staff made tweets and just kind of shed a light on it that we didn't think that we'd get. So we'll definitely continue this in the future, and I just want to thank the community for the support that they gave us.
Yeah, we had a lot of support. Kroger, the mayor, Infinite Print Solutions, who did our shirts for us, and a lot of different people. I can't think of them all at once, but a lot of people helped out, and it was a great help.
Well, in that case, good luck with the basketball season coming up, and
Thank you.
Good luck with that program as well. Hopefully that basketball tournament can continue for years and years beyond.
Yeah, for sure.
With that, thank you, Julian and Jaylen, for being on here on the show. And that'll wrap up this episode of Athletes Who Care. We'll see you next week.